The Red Sox athleticism looked flat out unmatched this weekend. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. The Boston Red Sox finally put themselves back in the win column this weekend, at least in terms of series, taking 2 out of 3 games from the Cleveland Guardians, which officially puts them at 16-14 on the season, 2 games over 500, 2 games back of first place, and currently second place in this division. And I really do think the sole reason the Boston Red Sox were able to win this series was because they are just one of the most athletic teams in baseball, maybe the most athletic team in baseball if everything starts clicking right. And I think when we're talking about athleticism, we have to start by talking about Jarren Duran, right? This dude is one of the most exciting players to watch in Major League Baseball right now. He's just absolutely a freak of nature in the best way possible. In this series alone, we really started to see what Jarren Duran could do, and that old Jarren Duran from 24 really started to show up in this one. He stole home in this series. It was a straight steal of home. We've seen him steal home before on like double steals. Now, this one was just him versus the pitcher, and he ended up winning this battle. One of the cool things is that this was on the exact anniversary of Jacoby Ellsbury also stealing home against Andy Pettitte back in 2009, I believe. I think I could be wrong on the year there, but it was the exact same date, which is really, really cool. Outside of that, though, he was also absolutely ridiculous this entire series. In the final 2 games, he had 7 hits in the final 2 games of the series, including 3 RBIs, a double, and a triple. In this series alone, he was able to raise his season average from 250 to 276. He was also able to raise his season OPS from 684 to 740. That's absolutely fantastic. He had a really chilly start to this season, but we knew he was going to get hot eventually. This is kind of where Jarren Duran takes off, right? He has one really good game, and then for the next month and a half, he's one of the best hitters in the entire sport. And what he does when he's right is he impacts this game on every single level. He was making plays in the outfield. He was swiping bags. He was stealing home, right? He was driving in runs. He was doing everything, and that's exactly why Duran is at the top of this lineup and continues to be at the top of this lineup. But speaking of the top of the lineup, Rafael Devers also got himself into a bit of a groove this series as well, because on top of Duran doing well, Rafael Devers, who has been cold as ice in his last 10-ish games or so, finally looked like himself again. 2 home runs in this series, 5 hits in total, including a hit in every single one, with a double mixed in there as well. We needed to see this from Rafi, right? We knew it was only a matter of time, but we talk about it all the time. This offense is only going to go as far as Rafael Devers is willing to take it, right? He is the heart and soul of this team. It's not a coincidence that when he's hitting at the plate, the Red Sox are winning more games than they're losing, right? He's just so important to this team. Having that kind of offense is absolutely fantastic. Home runs in back-to-back games was great, right? You got a double off of a fastball. Fantastic. He's been missing those a lot. His home run technically came off of a fastball, right? We could celebrate it a bit. It was like an 88-mile-an-hour cutter, but hey, that's in the fastball category. It's something he has been struggling with incredibly over this season so far, so hopefully this is a sign that things are starting to turn around for him a little bit. The Red Sox need these two, right? You talk about how can the Red Sox basically out-athlete other teams in Major League Baseball? These are the two that are going to help you do that. I know Rafael Devers isn't exactly the best in shape on the team, but you combine what Jarren Duran is doing, you combine what Rafael Devers is doing, and you put it into the rest of this lineup with all these other guys, and they become one of the best lineups in the sport, one of the deepest lineups in the sport. This is what we were looking to see out of this offense coming into this season. These two lead the way almost every single time, and for them to get back on track in this series and hopefully put themselves right for the season as a whole is an absolutely massive, massive news item that we needed to talk about. But it wasn't obviously just Rafi and Duran who were getting the job done in this series. A lot of guys who had been getting the job done on a consistent level continue to do that here in Cleveland. Alex Bregman had a hit in all 3 games of this series. Legitimately one of the best hitters in the sport right now. Robbie Refsnyder, dude, this guy just continues to mash left-handed pitchers. We're at the point now where You throw a left-handed pitcher on the mound there's almost a guarantee that Rob Refsnyder is going to do something ridiculous. He had a home run in this series against a left-handed pitcher, right? I just simply love the fact that the Red Sox have a guy on this team that you just know is going to do something impactful in a situation, right? I get Rob Refsnyder isn't the greatest outfielder in the world. He's not even the greatest outfielder on the Red Sox, right? Willie Abreu's still getting regular playing time for a reason here. It's just so nice to have, hey, we're going up against a lefty today. How do we beat him? Well, Rob Refsnyder's there, and he's probably going to help us do that. Christian Campbell had 2 doubles and at least 1 hit in every single game. He was struggling a bit recently, too. Really great to see him pull out of it. Again, you talk about how do the Red Sox take the mantle of most athletic team in baseball. He's absolutely a big part of that. Ceddanne Rafaela had a home run in this one, a 5 RBI game as well. The Red Sox hit a ton of 3-run home runs. They have the most 3-run home runs in the entire sport right now. Ceddanne added to that in this series. Again, another guy, right? You talk about athleticism. He's another guy who impacts the game if he can get on base in a whole lot of different ways. Obviously, the defense, he's got some power, and then he gets on base and he's swiping bags too. He's another little mini Jarren Duran a little bit, right? This is the kind of stuff you need to see from the Red Sox offense. Willier had a home run in this one as well. It was just a nice explosion of offense all the way around. At least 4 runs in every game, 20 runs total in the last 2 games of this series. And again, this is a prime example of how the Red Sox can be one of the more dangerous teams in the sport, right? When everything is clicking for this offense, they find ways to beat you 1,000 different ways. You look at the last 2 games of this series. They struck out 10 times total. That is 5 times a game. When they are making contact, they end up putting the ball in play a lot, and they end up forcing the team to be perfect. And no team in Major League Baseball is perfect, right? You put this much pressure on baseball teams between the speed, between the contact, and between the power. Good things are going to happen almost every single time, and that's what we saw in this series. And to me, this was a really important one for this Red Sox offense. To get that sort of production from this offense was really, really big in my opinion, especially from some of those key guys, right? You add in everything the rest of the lineup has been doing so far with Jarren Duran and Rafael Devers getting hot. Yeah, that's an extremely dangerous team. That's an extremely athletic team, and that's a team that can win you a whole lot more games than they lose. It wasn't just the offense that was athletic in this series, right? The pitching as well looked really good for the most part, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But between Buehler and Bello, you got 2 really quality starts out of them. Walker Buehler is really starting to settle into this rotation. He gave the Red Sox another quality start, going 6 innings, allowing 3 earned runs on 7 hits, 3 Ks, and a walk. Walker Buehler's starts, they aren't the prettiest imaginable starts ever for the Red Sox, but you look at it now and it's like, okay, 3 out of his last 4 starts have been legitimate quality starts. The one that wasn't a quality start because he only went 5 1/3 innings. But you look at all of the things he's been doing over his last 4 or 5 games here, you're talking about a legitimate part of this Red Sox rotation. We talk about, okay, how do the Red Sox become the most athletic team in baseball? You have to get consistent, right? And the Red Sox rotation has been far from consistent this season. Walker Buehler's settling in and becoming a guy who, on a regular basis, can give you a quality start day in and day out. That's how you get consistency, right? Finding a way to make this guy effective is going to be able to do that. Bello, also a big part of this. He went 6 innings. He allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Honestly, he looked really dominant, even better than a quality start through his first 5 innings, and then just sort of fell apart a little bit in that final inning, which does make some sense considering this was just his second start of the year. But again, how do you get consistent? Having a guy like Brayan Bello come back and pitch the way he's pitching on the mound right now is exactly how you do that. Adding consistency into this rotation allows the offense to do things like they did in this series, right? The offense becomes the star of the show when you can't score runs as an opposing team. It puts even more pressure on these guys defensively to be perfect. And again, you talk about it, no one is perfect in Major League Baseball. This pitching is just as equally important as what the Red Sox did offensively in this series, but it wasn't all sunshine and daisies on the pitching side of things, right? Tanner Houck once again struggled in a start this series. He ended up giving up 4 runs in the first inning of this one and then just kind of dominated all the way through the rest of this thing. I don't know what the Red Sox do with Tanner Houck at this point. I don't know what the solution is. He's struggling out of the gate right now. Every single one, including his really, really bad start this season, has been damage in the first inning and then settling in, right? That's sort of what's been his MO, and that needs to change. The reason the Red Sox lost that game is, one, you couldn't hit with runners in scoring position, which is something that's still plaguing the Red Sox. They did a much better job in the second two games, but definitely still a thing in the first game here. But two, you immediately put yourself in a hole, right? You put 3 runs on the board in the first inning, and then you come out of the first inning down a run, and all of a sudden it's like, well, what the heck just happened here, right? Tanner Houck has got to figure it out. I don't know if they totally need to revamp his entire approach to pitching. I don't know if it's a sequence thing. I don't know if it's a movement thing. Whatever it is, it needs to be figured out or it needs to be replaced, right? Again, you go back to how can this team get back to winning consistently and being a good team? It's about getting consistent performance from the pitching staff. And right now, Tanner Houck just simply is not doing that. As speaking of inconsistency, the bullpen I thought was actually pretty good in this series, right? You had one kind of bad inning here from Brennan Bernardino, who struggled in his last 2 outings. But outside of that, Chapman, Slayton, and Whitlock continue to look like one of the best back ends in the entire sport. Luis Guerrero came up here. He's looked like a legitimate solution to the middle of the innings problem for the Red Sox. He looks really, really good. Weissert looked really good. Even a guy like Wilson looked pretty good, right? I think for the most part, the bullpen looked pretty good for the Boston Red Sox. There were 2 things to me, in my eyes, that stood out in this series, though. And it's one, the Red Sox only committed 1 error in the entire series. And I know 1 error is like, okay, well, they still committed an error. I get that. But that's still really, really good considering where this Red Sox team has been error-wise this season. It was a Christian Campbell errant throw. Everything else looked pretty solid, right? You had some little maybe mental mistakes in that first game. Duran maybe throwing home instead of throwing to second. But overall, I think the defense looked much better in this series, and it's not a coincidence that series where the Red Sox have fewer than 2 errors, the Red Sox end up winning this season, right? It's just simply not a coincidence. Good defense will win you more games than it will lose you. They need to continue and figure out a way to make this a consistent pattern. If you're getting 1 error a series, you're still one of the worst defensive teams in baseball, but you're also still getting 2 games where you aren't making errors, and it always leads to better baseball. So you got to find a way to get to a point where you are at this level, where you're going consistently and giving this team 1-2 errors a series as opposed to 3 or 4 like we've been seeing in series that they've lost. The other thing that stood out to me is, again, the Red Sox did a great job this series of punishing mistakes. And it all comes back to whether or not you put the ball in play, right? You strike out 5 times a game, you're going to put the ball in play a whole lot, and it's going to force teams like the Guardians, who are a fantastic defensive team, to be perfect more times than they're not. And no team in Major League Baseball is perfect. The Red Sox did a fantastic job taking advantage of that, taking extra bases with wild pitches or errant throws, scoring on plays that normally the Red Sox haven't been scoring on this season. This is what the Red Sox need to do, and this is why the Red Sox can be the most athletic team in baseball, right? Because they can punish you. They can be that team where you make 1 error, they're going to put up 4 runs because of it, or they're going to put up 3 runs, or they're going to take the lead because of it. And that's why, in my opinion, this answer to this question, are the Red Sox the most athletic team in baseball? I do genuinely think they're up there, right? Speed, Duran, Wilyer, Cedon, Story, Campbell, those guys can all take bases from you. Power, Rafi, Bregman, Cedon, right? Wilyer, these guys continue to show that they could beat you 1,000 different ways. But again, it comes back to the same conversation we've had 1,000 different times already this season, right? It's about, can they now continue this consistently? Can they be a team that puts this all together on a legitimate everyday level? Because right now, what we're getting bursts of this, right? We're getting series of this. We're getting games of this. We need to figure out a way for the Red Sox to get months of this, seasons of this, because if they could do that, there's legitimately no stopping them. And I firmly believe that. So absolutely fantastic series. Red Sox in Cleveland this go around. Figure out a way to make it a consistent thing. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? What do you think about what stood out to you in this series? What do you think about the question posed? Are the Red Sox the most athletic team in baseball? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton. It's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you have to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.